A protest against proposed changes to the welfare system took place in Leeds today. Last week, the Prime Minister was forced into a U-turn on his changes to benefits after more than 120 Labour MPs threatened to vote against them. He now says stricter rules for people claiming personal independent payments would only apply to new claimants. But campaigners are worried that that will create a two-tier system. Labour says the proposed welfare changes will save the country billions of pounds. Mark Ansell reports.
Campaigners on a sombre march to the Department for Work and Pensions headquarters in Leeds. They fear the consequences of the welfare reform bill and want it scrapped. Kate Warner from Sheffield, seen here on her wedding day, says her chronic illness ME means she's no longer able to work after a 15-year career as a charity worker and as a therapist. It's made her so unwell she can't leave her home. Kate says cuts to benefits could push people who shouldn't work into jobs that make them more ill.
There were a few times I turned to my husband and said, I feel like the government would rather I was dead. Because you're just a problem and you cost them money and they just, they don't care.
The government has made concessions over its planned changes to benefits. For example, people currently receiving the personal independence payment will continue to do so. But the new proposals will still affect future claimants. Philip Williams is a disability rights campaigner from York. She says even the amended proposals to welfare cuts would be really damaging.
There's an awful lot of anxiety and downright fear that has been created by these proposals. A number of disabled people have said, they really don't know how they will survive if they go through and, fear that they will become destitute.
MPs are due to vote on changes tomorrow, and there are mixed opinions among our members of Parliament from Yorkshire.
Well, I'm relieved because it means that anyone on PIP at the moment isn't going to be affected. As I say, I've got to look at the detail and think about whether it's the right way forward for new claimants from November 2026.
I'm really concerned about there being a two-tier system, and I know that many of my colleagues are sharing in that concern, and I really need more reassurance that any kind of review that's happening with the involvement of disabled people, which I really, really welcome as a disabled person myself, on the PIP criteria, that people don't lose out and that there isn't this two-tier system.
I will see what I'll do when I've spoken to disabled people's organisations and constituents. I think that this is much better than it was, and it's really commendable that the government have listened to backbenchers who've got a lot of experience and a lot of concerns on this.
The Prime Minister has said the UK's benefit system is broken and fixing it is a moral imperative. MPs are running out of time to decide how to vote tomorrow. Mark Ansell, BBC Look North.